Okay, so we're back, and our customer now has asked us to have another line on the inside, which is fine. So this is good practice for us, and we are now going to draw a new circle using the ellipse tool, holding down the Shift and Control key, and that is going to give us a perfect circle. And again, we are going to click on the circle, and they want it to be the same thickness as the one on the inside. So I'm just going to drop it there, EC from the keyboard, to centralize it, and I'm then going to press down with the Shift key and grab the corner. That is going to bring it in from its center point. And I want a contour on the outside of this, and I can't quite remember what the distance is on there now because this is not actually a contour anymore. So a little tool that I use now and again is just to select the square tool over on the rectangle tool on the left hand side. Let me grab another color so you can see this. Not like that, sorry, with this tool. So I'm going to grab the tool, and I'm going to bring that over. Let's colour it in yellow or something. Okay, so I'm going to go up. Actually, the easier way is just to go over here, grab the edge and pull down, and it'll find the other edge as well. So if now I can highlight that yellow, and it shows me that the distance for this particular edge is 9.4 millimeters, which is ideal. So what I can do there is I can select this inner circle ellipse, go over to the contour tool on the left hand side, click and drag out, and then I'm looking for, in this area, the same size at the moment. So we knew this one here was 9.4, and I'm going to put that there. You can see that this one was actually 6 millimeters. So if I click on that, I can change in the transformation bar at the top there. I'm going to just whack in 9.4, bang, boom. So we got exactly the right size. And again, I want to make that two individual components. So I'm going to delete that little square out of there. And I'm then going to click on the circle, and you can see the circle just gives me the size. If I select the outer circle, we know that is the contour. And I'm going to go up to the top menu, arrange, and break contour apart. I'm going to click once on the inner circle, hold down the Shift key, outer circle, I'll grab both components, Control L, that's combined, and then I can then fill it with a colour of my choice, or my client's choice. Also, they want to have a little star either side. So let's go over to the star tool, click on that. It may well appear as a different tool. If I click on the fly out there, you can see we've got polygon stars, complex fills, spirals, graphs, basic shapes. There's things in there like love hearts, call outs as well, which is handy if you're doing cartoons and stuff. So let's click on the star, and holding down the Shift key, it'll make that proportional again. Bring the star over to here. I only want 5 points on the star, so I can go from the toolbar here and select 5 points. Grab the corner, pull it in. Let's just pop it there for a moment. And again, I want one on the other side. So I'm clicking across with the left mouse button and clicking down once with the right mouse button. And I'm going to line those two components up by grabbing both of them and then putting a line around them, or clicking on one and then hold Shift, clicking on the other. And if I press E, that is going to align them horizontally. Okay, so that's cool. And then you can put whatever color you want in there as well. I actually want all of this in the blue that I use for my one shirt away. And so I'm going to go down here to the bottom next to the task manager that's shown background components going on, and I'm going to double click on this color, and it's going to bring me up a box, and here I can change all sorts of different things, different values, different color palettes, I can color match and so on. So I'm just going to select the RGB because I know the RGB code is 0 tab 92 tab 185, and that's going to give me the blue for one shirt away. I'm also going to select the inner circle as well, and I'm going to do exactly the same. Another way of doing it here is to go over to the left hand side bottom, add colours to palette, click on the colour tool, click on that, and it's going to add it on your palette here. It's already here from earlier, but again, we'll pop that in. So that's one shirt away, and also my lizard wants to be the same colour, so we're going to change the old gecko and whack him in there as well. Now he could be coming out of that circle. We could reduce the size of him by clicking on him and making him smaller. That's not the gecko. Let's click on the gecko, and that way we can have him sat in the middle if we wanted to. It's coming together as quite a nice, cool little logo. I'm going to press F4, and that's going to fill my logo now to the screen. Now, there's a few things we could do, a few things that to think about. Currently, this gecko, because it was one of the first components we drew, and the CorelDraw works on a layer system, much like all the other sort of software that's out on the market, we can move his position to where he lies in the layer. Now, a layer is like a stack, and if these were all solid colours, you would see that certain components would cover certain things up. Now let me put a square over here with a yellow or something on it so you can just see exactly what's going on. So because it's the most recent component that I've actually drawn, it is now the most important component on the screen, and it brings it to the front, okay, which means it's going to cover everything up. Now if I wanted to send that to behind, to the back, to the bottom layer, what I would do is I would click on this particular component, which is the rectangle at the time, and I would right click and I would say order, move to the back of the page, okay, order to the back of the page. So as soon as I click that, you could also press Control End, which is the shortcut key, which will just fire it straight back as well. You can see that. So it's sent to the back, and you can see that is now a component that is behind. So I can click on that and I can make our background color all yellow. Okay, that's cool. I'm going to get rid of that. I just wanted to just show you what layers basically mean. And there is lots and lots of different layers, and you can position them between each component, okay? So let's just take our gecko for a moment, and because I'm having trouble clicking on him there, which perfectly, I'll go him straight away that time, what you could do is you could actually just drag a box around him to grab hold of him without grabbing hold of the text, okay? So there you go, let me just give you that, that should give you the gecko. So if I bring him across, I want him to sit over the top of that circle like he's trying to escape. And as you can see there, because the inner ring was one of the more recent components that we drew, he's now sat behind that. So what we can do is we can press Control Home, and that will bring him to the uppermost top portion, or the layer, top layer. So I've just done that, Control Home. The same would go for right click, order, move to the front of the page. Obviously, see there at the top when it's Control Home, it's grayed out because that's where it is at the moment. But if I send it to the back and then I go again, order, you can see that Control Home is there. So we can, Control Home, which is moved to the front of the page, is there. It's highlighted. We can move it one layer at a time, so it will move through components, and that is Shift, page up, page down, okay. Or we can go Control, page up, page down, sorry. So let's just do that. Let's just give him, let's go Control, page up, and as I move through, I'm going Control up all the way at the moment until eventually I get to the front. Handy if I actually had selected the gecko and not the circle. Okay, so as you can see there now, the gecko is actually sat on top, and we could, you might want him sort of You might want him sort of half in and out, or you might want him actually cutting out some of this badge, you know, so it's lots of different things you can do. If we made this gecko a little bit bigger and sat him, let's say, just here, what we could do is we could have him physically cut through. So this actual gecko has almost like an edge round it. So there's a couple of ways we can do that. One, we can put a white trim round him, which then looks like he's almost punched it out, and we can change the size of that the line to actually look like there's a bigger contour on all of that. And you can see there it looks like he's actually just punched through him, through the actual circle and so on. So quite happy with that one. I'm going to show you another way. So let's take this across. I'm going to highlight all of it, drag it and drop it down and click once with the right mouse button. Okay, so what I want to do with this now is I'm going to select this inner circle and outer circle, and I'm going to go Control out, and I'm going to combine them. So if I move it away now, you can see that it is actually one component, even though it's two sets of outlines. So go Control Z, and I'm going to grab my gecko once, and I'm going to press the Shift key, and then I'm going to select the outer circles, and I'm going to go up and trim. And now when I click on the gecko and pull him away, you can see he's cut that out. Well, cool. Now what I can do then is I can actually physically remove the outline, and I know that he's cut through that. But what I wanted was to see an outline around the edge of that. Now there's a couple of ways I can do that. We can go back and use the contour tool and go on the inside of that gecko and just take a little shaving off. So let's go back. We've got the gecko selected. I'm using the contour tool. I'm going to come over to the gecko, and I'm just going to pull on the inside there. You can see that? So let's just give it a very small outline. Let's give it 0.5 of a mil, half a millimeter, and see where we are. So we know we've got that currently selected, the contoured gecko, and I'm going to go up to Arrange, and I'm going to break it apart, so Control K, and I'm going to zoom straight in, and I'm going to find my black gecko, and I'm going to delete him, and he's gone. So as soon as he's gone, you can see now that we've now got what I was looking for, which was almost like a stamp through it. Okay. I do think this gecko needs some glasses, so we'll put some on in a moment as well. And finally, just before I close this video off, I'm going to show you a different type of contour. Okay, so very quickly, we're going to grab a circle. We're going to again make a circle edge make a circle using the Control and the Shift key, and I'm going to come across to my outline pen tool, and I'm going to select a thick edge. Okay. So that was a 10-point edge, and you can see that signified up here on the top bar, and I can increase the edge as much as I want. So it's a 24-point, let's go to a 12-point. Now to make sure and ensure that this is scalable, and so you don't trip up with customers, this is only a 12-point edge at the moment. If you blew this up to meter wide, it would appear like a very fine black thin hairline, and it wouldn't retain its thickness. So if you are going to scale it, and the customer has sent you artwork, and the outline, you notice when you reduce it, appears to become thicker or thinner, go to the Arrange tool and select Convert Outline to Object. So if I do that, I click on that, it has now become an inner circle and an outer circle that are combined. So if I come across to the Fill tool and select No Fill, and then right click with a black, you can see that we've got the same component that we got when we made up our circle on our gecko logo.